Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Scampone Training. As always, it's a pleasure to be in your company. There are some things that we need to discuss today, mostly around isometrics. Today I had 8 sessions today. I did a mixture of isos and dynamics. The combination of people today, my oldest client was 86 years old. And I had another 67-year-old man and a couple 50 and 60-year-old women. And they were all on the Isomax. Can you believe that? So what I've been playing around with is a mixture of isos and dynamics with clients. For example, today I did the first half, 3 dynamic exercises, a short break, and then we went to the Isomax. And we did about 3 to 4 exercises with the Isomax. And allowing someone to get into position and take some time, for example, in deadlift. Well, I'm getting lost in the abyss here. How does the setup look? Before I get into the technical stuff, how does the setup look? I'll be right back. I bet you can still hear me, actually. Can you hear me still? I hope you can hear me, period. You know what I mean? Like, so if you can't see here, hello, one viewer. If you can give me a thumbs up, if you can hear me, okay. I'm using this mic here, and I just want to make sure that this is the mic that's working. All right, so here's the Bullworker, and if you guys don't mind today, I wanted to do a little how would you call it, an equipment overview. So we can talk and we kind of work through some pieces of equipment. Okay, cool. We got the thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that. So like I was saying before, I went and got the Bullworker. Working with clients and getting them in a position for 45 seconds allows them time to learn their body. So if you're just getting in here, here's the Bullworker. Oh, I don't want to break the fan above me here. Okay, so the Bullworker, let's talk through this quick. I ran a poll on my site. Of what my subscribers use. And it was 70-30, 70 being the Isomax. Wouldn't a strain gauge of some sort be useful for this method and equipment? A strain gauge, I'm assuming it's just some sort of, I don't know what a strain gauge is. I'm assuming it's some sort of measurement of force output. If that's the case, dynamometer is what they're calling it. Is that what you're talking about? If that's the case, yes, that'd be great. Otherwise, they have this slider here. I'm wondering if you guys can see this, okay? They have this slider here, and this is where you can measure, but guess what? I don't really use it. I don't really use it much because I'm just looking for muscle contraction. I'm feeling it in the muscle. If I want to measure, I use the Isomax. And if you guys want me to run and grab the Isomax, I can do that too. I also have the Harambe system in my car. That would mean I have to go out into the, I think it's about 10 degrees out right now. Let me check. Let's be accurate here. Oh, sorry. See, that was a little bit of an exaggeration. It's 30. It's 30 degrees with a low of 11. It's going to be a low of 11. So anyway, Isomax and the Harambe system, I have to run outside and get, which I'm willing to do. But for now, I just wanted to talk through some basic elements of the Bullworker. I've mentioned this before, and I'll mention it again. If you like dynamics, that's excellent, of course. Fill in your isometrics where you feel like some muscles are lagging behind. For me, sometimes I feel like it's my chest. So I started working more isometrics where I'm kind of manipulating my elbows to get more adduction. And that seems to be giving more stimulus in the moment. I'm feeling it more in the chest. And I feel like I've grown a little bit of chest fiber, which I was set out to do. So the Bullworker, it's got a spring inside. Let me get that for you. I'm banging things around over here. Can you see this black one, this white one here? They're of varying sizes and thickness and tension. So you can work that in. And, if you have the Bullworker, I'm not telling you anything new. Okay, let's get back to the Bullworker. When I first got this machine, I used it a lot for range of motion stuff. Let me continue to work through this. I use it a lot for a lot of range of. You know what? That's a great question, Chris. So the question is, as a trainer, how do you gauge whether a client is providing a maximal or consistent effort? You do that with the Isomax. If you don't use the Isomax, isometrics are so powerful that even if they were getting sub-maximal effort, if you're getting sub-maximal effort out of your client, you're going to get results just because of the optimization of the protocol. So, I don't really care if they give me less than maximal effort, because just holding yourself in position is going to do enough for them. Otherwise, use the Isomax. If and then, okay, so more practical. If someone could comfortably get through 45 seconds of an isometric position where they're not trembling and altering their body too much, that I would say is time to increase intensity, or that's where you can gauge improvement. For example, a inverted row, if you were just press into a bar, a lot of people struggle with that. An inverted row, I'm sure you guys know what an inverted row is. If I had a producer, I'd be like, hey, producer, get me lined up with an inverted row, but I don't have a producer. So anyway, a lot of people struggle with that. And over time, it gets easier for them. And you can see visually that it gets easier for them. And then you say, okay, we've progressed there. So isometrics, a reason why, and I don't want this channel to be too biased towards isometrics. So I kind of want to play the counter argument sometimes. And the counter argument with isometrics is you can't measure it. So I would understand why someone would stay away from it, because they can't measure it. But that's not me, and I don't think that's you. So we'll continue on. Do you have any experience with arthritic clients and isometrics? Yes, all the time. Arthritic. I said that wrong, I think. So, man, you can scale down isometrics to its most simple form, where you have, like today, for example, I had a client who I wanted to have them seated as they were inside the iso rack doing isometrics. I wanted to have them seated so I can get them as comfortable as possible, because I wanted it to be more of a therapeutic session rather than an intense session. So I took it as far as having them sit down. So they're like relaxed. And then we start doing we had them doing front raise, shoulder flexion and extension. What did we do? A bicep curl, tricep extension. I had them even do hip flexors. So, okay, so to answer your question is scale it down to the point where the patient feels comfortable and in a comfortable position to start, and then you can focus on the intensity of the muscle contraction. So work into it, but they'll eventually press hard. Like they'll increase a lot of force because of how comfortable it is. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes is the answer. Do it. hover just below the threshold of pain. Get them into a position where they feel like, oh, I'm kind of weak. Whoa, I'm kind of weak here. But you're not experiencing pain. Then you apply pressure for as long as you want, as long as there's no pain. So before that question, I don't know where I was at with it, but anyway, when I first got the Bullworker, I was under the impression it was more of a dynamic machine, and then I started to read more and use it more, and it is a isometric machine as well, which they also recommend. So let me go through some exercises with the Bullworker here. This pull down is pretty good here. Really good one. The ab crunch. If I had something here, the ab crunch. I'm just going against my own body here, which is not ideal, but this ab crunch always feels great. And then a hip. Let me see if I can get this in here. A hip abduction without. You put it through in between your knees and you're doing an abduction. Not the best visual. Sorry about that. But you guys get the point there. Like I said, I have my Isomax in the car. And I have the Harambe system in the car. So if there's anyone here that uses either of those and has any questions or needs any demonstrations, because of the fine gentleman that my mother raised, I would consider going to my car to get it. Okay, let me pull up really quick what are the other items I wanted to talk about. So I don't know if any of you guys do neck work. Do you do neck isometrics? Are you familiar with the MedX static strength testing? Back in the 90s, their medical testing equipment was very useful for static work. However, their knee machine was $30K. Whoa. $30K in the 90s for a knee machine? I am not surprised that MedX has static strength testing equipment. I am surprised that I don't know that. So no, I didn't know that. I do know that MedX has produced like computerized equipment, but I was not aware that. Okay, hold on. Their lumbar machine was $60K. Okay, so with Isometrics, you are the lumbar machine for $0K. So, man, that's what's crazy. And I bet the footprint of the MedX lumbar machine is huge and very heavy. And so, yeah. Speaking of back and neck, I know MedX had a neck. Like, if you ever seen it, you get inside of it and you rotate. I'm sure in theory and practically it's an excellent machine. It just is probably super expensive. So today with clients, first you got to build up trust too with Isometrics. You got to build up trust because I'm not sure if anyone here is trainers, but for example, I was doing neck flexion with a strap. If you guys don't know, I like to use like a yoga, any sort of belt or strap or even a band. Put it around a client's forehead. Client has to trust you so much with Isometrics that they're willing to let you strap them down. I had clients today where I was like hovering steel bars over their foreheads and they're just chilling there like, yeah, okay, cool, let's go. What's the next exercise? For a neck flexion, and then again, you got to have another neck flexion exercise. You put the strap across your forehead here. And these people were just okay with it. Like it's normal stuff. I've performed static neck exercises on a bench with the head levered off the edge of the pad. I like that. I wonder if that's an yielding isometric. I wonder if you're speaking of a yielding isometric, which you might be. I've performed static neck. But yeah, the neck and the spine and the low back, you can get done with isometrics because the muscle, how do I explain this without getting too deep? The muscle moves the body, okay? The muscle contracts and it torques the body upon an axis point, the limbs upon an axis point. So with isometrics, you're just doing what the muscle was wanting the limbs to do. So if the spine responsibility of the lumbar area is to extend, then just extend in its most natural form. It's meant to extend, so just extend against something. And you're doing its most natural form against resistance. Okay. I've also had them perform statically against a wall. Cool. Yeah, so what'd you think of them? Or like if anyone wants to give me any feedback on isometrics too, or any pushback too, like I was saying earlier, I don't want to be biased here. So I'm going to create a whole episode on why you wouldn't do isometrics, just because I don't want to get myself, what is it called, a vacuum of some sorts? Yeah, I don't know what it's called. Okay, so yeah, because I'm interested in how the head moves and how the inertia takes the head as you're moving. Okay, I'm done saying and I probably won't say it again this whole time. Hold on one second. Wow, I'm just banging stuff around over here. It's a pleasure having you guys here. I hope that I'm not. Damn, I said again. The head. How does the head move once you change direction? The head keeps going. Or imagine if like you're falling, you're going to slip, your head keeps going, and the inertia that your head creates, the rest of your body has to support and withstand. So I'm wondering, and this is another point from Brad Thorpe, is how much velocity the head creates in change of direction performance sports. So if we have this jello neck, all right, if you got no neck and it's just held together by your lungs, and you got a pencil neck, all right, what's that going to do when you got a big head? Like, listen, my whole family has these monstrosities of heads, head of monsters, just balloons. So we got to have strong necks because there's a lot of inertia going in this direction. If I have to change direction briefly, one baby's crying, I'm going this way, boom, the next baby's crying, I have to pause, pivot, change direction. This behemoth of a God-made skull is moving in one direction, I have to move in the other direction. If I don't have any isometric force or strength in through the neck, I'm gonna it's just I'm not going to perform well in doing the things I have to do as a dad. So going back to that, working in some neck exercises, I know it's boring, nobody likes to do it. You should really do it though, because it supports the brain and the head. So just do it with isometrics. Anybody have any questions? Here's the little guy. This is the little guy. Off-aning with static work can be a problem with a fair number of clients with static work from my experience. Okay, I like that. Off-aning with static work can be a problem with a fair number of clients. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Off-aning, like working it in occasionally, and then it can be a problem. So cool, yeah, explain that in further detail. I'm curious to see. I have only 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. We'll say only 2 years of experience working isometrics with clients. So it's still fairly new to me and them. So here's the baby Bullworker. All right. So as you compress the spring shortens and creates more tension. Here's the thing with the Bullworker is there's only, how do I explain this? You can't press against the floor. Like with the IsoFit and the Isomax, you're pressing against the floor. Here, like you have to be pulling on the other side or have the other side anchored in. But I really like it. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't know why I got away from the Bullworker. When I first got it, I'm like, this thing is actually legit. This is not a joke. This is not a gimmick, because it stands true to the principles of hypertrophy. So I started to work with it and worked with clients, and for whatever reason, I got away from it. I think I got a little greedy and I got the Isomax and the Isofit. Off-oning is when the contraction is not steadily and consistently applied, but rather is turned on and off by the subject. Okay, I get that. Cool. Is when the contraction is not steadily consistent applied, but rather is turned on and off by the subject. Okay, so you're having like a contraction, intense contraction, followed by a brief rest, followed by another contraction, by a lesser intense contraction. Okay, I can see that. And why was it a problem? Was it because the upregulation of tension just is unsafe? Which I can understand. Okay, I get that. So an even application, some of the coaching cues you can provide is an even application of tension throughout, which applies consistent to HIIT principles. You know, that's why they move the weight slow. And so there's an even application of tension, as well as why they use cams in the equipment. So it's not, so the resistance bands is not that. The resistance bands is huge tension, decreased, extreme decrease in tension. But bands work too, so I get behind the bands too. It seems like there's just this rotation of, I think I got a good system. I feel like I got a great system. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm curious what you guys, what brought you here. Did you guys have a workout today? Did you work out from home? I'm also interested why. So my subscribers are 70% Isomax, 30% Bullworker, but 0% Isofit. And that's interesting to me, because I have a lot of Isofit content, but maybe Isofit is in its era of being used by trainers and not a at-home resource or at-home option quite yet, because I just see a huge amount of value in the Isofit. So I don't know why there was no one that was using it or no one that interacted that used it, and that's fine. But I'm just curious. I hope it gets its respect, dog. And I wonder if it, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Let's see. Did you have your workout today? I hope you guys did. Otherwise, you don't really have to either. I'm not a workout every single day kind of guy. In fact, I think today, no, I didn't work out this week. How about that? I didn't work out this whole week. Because I want to stand true to what I believe in, and that is increasing intensity and letting the body recover fully and allowing your body to live in 100% of recovery and enjoying those days where you are feeling recovered, you're not sore, you're not achy, you're living in the results of your training. If we hit it too many days in a row and we keep on just living in recovery, are we ever living in what we're training our bodies to be? I don't know if that makes sense. Steady static contraction is a learned skill that not everyone can master because of the reliance visual input as relates to movement. because of the reliance visual input as it relates to movement. Okay, reliance visual input as it relates to movement. So reliance visual input, I'm assuming, is your system's relying on visuals to fire the nervous system. What kind of static contraction are you using, though? I'm curious, because when I get people on the ISOFIT, I feel like they just do it well. I don't know. I feel like you're stuck in position. You're wedged between the bar and the floor. Yeah, reliance visual input. The reliance of visual input. Okay, reliance of visual input. Yeah. But I mean, as we look at the world is static. You know, a part of the world that we intake is static. Not everything that we see is moving. So how much are we relying on that? Chris, cool, man. I appreciate the interaction, though, that you got some interesting intake and some good rebuttal and stuff like that. So good. I like, who do we appeal to, my man? Like, I just feel like this fits this at-home version of isometrics. Like, if you have your garage that's your own, or maybe someone has a meditation space that's their own, or like someplace in your home that's your own that you go to. Why not make your own isometric area and know that you're knocking out a large percentage of your exercise requirements in the area of your home? I would argue you can't do isometrics in a gym. I'd argue that isometrics are better at home because a couple reasons. Like, you can have all your tools spread out around you. With isometrics, you have to get yourself in some vulnerable positions where, like, I mean, you're just ass up, belly down, and you're like, you know, just all out in a fixed position. And sometimes the privacy is better there. So I don't know, does anybody do isometrics in a gym? I'm still hanging on to this Bullworker. Dude, this is like a fidget spinner for adults. I can go to work with this thing. Like, catch me in the next meeting working a Bullworker in the background like it's nothing. I'm going to give this to my nephew who's 12 years old so he can pay attention in history class. He's going to come home with straight A's. They're going to be like, yo, what did you do to this kid? I'm like, he's been working the Bullworker in class all day. He's got ripped biceps and he's got straight A's. But contraction against an immovable object is not an instinctive thing. Contraction usually results in movement, so there's a skill to be learned. I agree 100%. I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I 100% agree because skill, everything is skill. You know, like working out with any exercise equipment is skill. So yes, I completely agree with that. It's a skill to be learned. And that's the cool part about it. Some people are under the impression that it's boring for clients, but each exercise is its own separate skill, its own separate experience. Within each 45-second muscle contraction is different ranges of experience. For example, the first 15 seconds, you're just getting a feel. You're trying to just find your balance and find your footing. Then you lock into the muscle that you're trying to target. Then you sustain effort, and then you start to feel fatigue, and you may feel recruiting of other muscle fiber throughout the body. Your body's trying to pivot in position. So it's a skill to be learned. I don't think it's too difficult of a skill, though. I'm not asking you to juggle. It is a skill, though. I'm not going to disagree with you there. I have done but contraction is okay. I have done isometric in gym, but not all equipment lends itself to the kind of work. I agree with that. Are you familiar with Pitch 6 force board isometric device? No, I'm not. I will look that up though. Hold up. Pitch 6. Wait. Let me add that. Pitch 6 force board. Force board. I have not. Pitch 6 force board. I'm going to look that up. Hi, Lewis. What's up, my guy? How are you today? Hope everyone had a nice day. It has some features not found on the Isomax. I think it's a lot cheaper too. Wow. Okay, I'll look it up. I might as well look it up right now. There's also one, I think it's called One Rep. If you guys want to look that up. Actually, okay, hang on. We might as well do this here. I'm going to go Pitch 6 force board. Pitch 6 force board. And we're going to get over to this pitch. Products. Force board. Okay, I'm going to share the screen here. Where'd you guys go? How do I share the screen here? Present, share screen, force board, share. Whoa. Oh, it's shared. You guys there? You with me? Okay, let's see. Oh, here we go. Does it have a reader? Oh, cool. There's the dynamometer. There's the foot plate and the bar and the straps. Okay. Cool. And I'm curious what it has. Okay, it's got an app. Wow. So, all right. Dang. Whoa. Okay, hang on. So, hang on. Let me get back to full screen here. All right, time out. So that was the shortcoming of the Isomax. Is it's 2024 and it doesn't have an app. We need to see visuals. I need to read it live on my phone. It needs to record it and give me all the data and have AI attached to it and everything. So that's a game changer for sure, is a game changer. Okay, so thanks for that. Pitch 6 force board. It has some features not found. That I occasionally use static sets with clients as a change of pace workout or if a client cannot tolerate dynamic exercise. Chris, cool, man. What do you, I guess, what's your dynamic protocol then? Let's make Mr. Scampone famous, guys. He has a lot of knowledge. Lewis, I appreciate that, dude. Hey, man, I'm here for you guys. Like, I've tried to help as many people as I can over my life. So that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me how many people, although that would be nice. But like, just 5 or 6 good guys and girls. You know what I'm saying? It goes a long way in this world, I think. Compounding that, not a math guy, but if you help 5 and 6 people out and those 5 and 6 people help 5 and 6 people out, I'm sure that's going to cover a lot of people. Not a math guy though. There was one thing I just wanted to show you guys. Now I'm confused. What did I want to show you guys? The force board. So Chris, Lewis, Lawrence, thanks for reaching out. Okay, so this force board, I really like the app. That's really cool. Oh, dang. Dang. So I've tinkered with this a little bit. I used a strap with the Isomax. Are you guys seeing this right now? Can you see my mouse there? I used a strap, a yoga strap with the Isomax just to move up and down, use the bar up and down. So that's a cool idea. So yeah, all right. At home isometrics seems to be just profoundly, wow, seems to be like a no-brainer. Basically super slow, one set, 45 to 75 seconds to real failure. Chris, you're speaking my language, man. What do you mean? Wow. All right, good to know, Chris. You got the right stuff going on. Cool. How long have you been doing it? It's cool. It's a cool job, isn't it? It's interesting. You work with people. Let's talk about some of my clients without like I want to keep their privacy in place, but maybe you guys can relate to this. I have an 86-year-old golfer who likes competing. He likes competing. Uh he does like 30 body weight squats and like 250 pounds in the leg press and just lets me kick his isometric ass. I'm not gonna lie. Um 60-year-old woman today, 50-year-old woman. It's just so interesting working with women. For some reason, my demographic on YouTube is not women, but my demographic in person is women. But they get strong. Like it's fun working with women and watching the weight they push. It's wild. I guess since 1980. I've been doing that since 1988. Freshly in a few years before that, my own. Dang, 1988. Wow, super slow. Holy smokes. Uh, I got today. I used the Nautilus second generation pull over, pull down. I used the Nautilus second generation uh, double chest. I used the Nautilus second generation lateral raise and shoulder press, but the shoulder press is too heavy for my female clients. Although I do have a couple girls that can push it, so I just do the lateral raise with them. But by that time, I might as well just hit an isometric lateral raise. The thing with the isometric lateral raise is with the ISO rack is maybe I wanted to show you guys that. But I don't know. I just think at home isometrics is the way to go. Set up an area in your house. It's not a big area. I just trained someone on Zoom, a gentleman who was retired and had some aches and pains, but was still physically in pretty good physical shape and sounded like he was still, those guys that are retired, but they're not really retired. Like they tell you they're retired, but then you get to know them more and they have a couple different side jobs they're working. This individual, that's good. Isometrics is good because they're still busy, super busy. But anyway, he was just right in his living room, doing it right out of his living room. And like 30 minutes is just crazy. You can get it done in 30 minutes. Who else did I work with today? Let's see. My dad. I trained my dad today. I train him every Friday. For a long time, probably almost 4 years now. And then he went to Florida. So I trained him over Zoom and we did all isometrics over Zoom. Well, I would say 75% isometrics over Zoom. And we just used a wall, a belt, and manual resistance. So manual resistance isometrics, I do a lot of core stuff with it because you can press your knees into your hands. And I talked about that before, but it's filler too. Like, for example, I'm taking on another trainer in the gym has a confliction. Is that the word? Confliction? With a client of theirs. So I'm taking that client on. I'm going to use their protocol, which is very similar to mine. I'm going to stay close to their protocol, but the filler, I told them the filler items, if you want to just work isometrics in, but not go full all in, use it as filler. For example, the hamstrings. If there's not a machine that you have at your gym that you don't like for hamstrings, or you don't want to do an RDL, go right to isometrics for hamstrings. Skip the nonsense. 90 degrees, lengthened, shortened, 45 seconds each. You got to find a way to get a strap or something. You can get it done. Again, the neck exercises, those are filler items that are as valuable as the rest of the exercise. You have to work in the exercises you don't want to do. If you made up your whole protocol off of exercises you don't want to do, it would probably be a really good protocol. For example, the chin dip in dynamic, I'll do a chin assisted, Nautilus assisted chin dip. People wouldn't pick that exercise, but I pick it for them and they do it and they're happy about it. So use filler for the isometrics where you can. Find the exercises that I had a client today that he's a 67-year-old man. He's been working with me for 3 years. He's a great just this the incredible people that you meet along this journey is amazing in itself. Not even get into the business and the money that you can make with it or the lives. Just it's just a crazy business. You meet a lot of people anyway. He was coming off an injury. My man's like, I want to get back to isomax deadlifts. Who says that? Who said who who requests that? I ask one of my 16-year-old clients. No, he's older than that. He's probably 18. I think yeah, he's gonna be a sophomore in college. So yeah, he's probably 18. I said, you pick today. We're either gonna do the big five, one set to failure using Nautilus equipment, or we're gonna do ISOFIT, 30 and 30. My man, 18-year-old baseball pitcher, throwing gas, throwing like 85 or something like that, 86, he said. He picked the ISOFIT. He picked the Isometrics. So I'm like, my mind is blown. Like all these people know of dynamic exercise, and then within a couple workouts, they are speaking the isometric language. According with your experience, what would you be the maximum time isometric hold for? The maximum time? That's a good question. Hmm. I don't know. Do like a wall sit for 3 minutes to 5 minutes. Do a push-up hold, a plank hold. Let me, can you guys just pause right here for a moment? If I have to go get the charger because it's red. It's red. Hold on. I got to get my charger. It's right over here. You might still be able to hear me actually. I just put it somewhere. Here we go. There's that. Do I have the block? Yeah, I got the block too. Okay, we're in luck, people. We're in luck. That'd be crazy if you could still hear me. I think you can still hear me. All right, the block's right here. This is going to go into the problem with today's world, and this is probably a good problem to have, there's just too many cords. There's way too many cords. We got to get away from the cords. Like everything we own now needs to be charged. I got so many cords, it's ridiculous. I can't keep track of it all. Holy smokes, are we back? We're here. Okay, with your experience, what would be the maximum time for isometric hold? It would be a like 3 to 5, a 3 to 5 minute plank, push up hold, wall sit, anything like that. Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes. I think you can do that. Otherwise, keep it below 90 seconds. 90 seconds or below. I can't get this light to be on point here. Hold up. I got one more thing that I want to go over. Why is this light not working at all now? Here, hang on. Okay, here we go. All right, one more thing I want to go over here. Think this through. Think this through. If you guys can give me any questions, now would be the time. I appreciate you guys so stinking much, man. Okay. One moment here. I don't even know where we're at here. Okay. Give me a second here. Okay, so the ISO rack. Going back to it. One isometric protocol I use, particularly will manually applied resistance, is to break the set into thirds. Two part, 2p seconds at half effort, 20 seconds at 3/4 effort, 20 seconds as hard as you can. 20 seconds. Uh, okay, so Chris, your like time static contraction protocol, that's popular, it's common. So it's like a gradual increase of tension and effort over 90 seconds, right? No, it looks like 60 seconds for you. Okay, so over 60 seconds. So yeah, I like that too. Yeah, I like it, but I just I've never done that. I didn't coach it that way to start. I feel like the way that you start things is usually what you stick to for long term. I feel like I just coached it early on and I did it early on, just engage the muscle. And as you grow in confidence in the position, you grow in effort over the 45-second muscle contraction. And however that looks, it looks. Like you might find a good position early on in the 45 seconds, like 15 seconds in, you might find the perfect position and the right muscle, and that's where you're giving your 100% effort. So I just always thought of just targeting the muscle and contracting the muscle over time as best as the effort as I could give it. Okay, I like the ISOFIT concept. Only two things I don't like about it. It's expensive and not portable. It is not portable. It's a heavy unit. It's a heavy unit. Uh, again, going back to why I believe it's probably used right now mostly by trainers and not quite hit the at-home market is for those two reasons: the price of it and the the fact that it's not portable. I guess it is portable, but I think it's like 100 pounds, maybe even more. I don't know what it is, but that's probably why it's not at home yet. Maybe there's some thing to consider, more of a less of a beast. The ISOFIT is a beast. I friggin' love it though. So it's hard for me to talk poorly. Not like I'm talking poorly. I'm just speaking facts here. It is not portable and it is expensive. However, again, going back from the trainer's perspective, it's an investment you make, and it's affordable investment because I see the Rogers pendulum pieces of equipment, and that's like a lot. See if I can pull up Rogers pendulum. I don't know if they'll show me the prices right on here. Let's see. Football, strength training, all strength training. Man, it looks so cool though. Here, let me share the screen so you guys aren't on your own here. So here's a Rogers pendulum. This is like hammer strength. This is popular. Uh, okay. I don't know why I'm looking for the row. Hmm. Let's look for this hip press. Yeah, see, request a quote. I don't even know if they're gonna give you the price. Dang, I'd imagine it's a lot though. But like if you look at that machine, say for example, it's $5,000, and then you look at the ISOFIT, and you can do 75 zillion more things on the ISOFIT than you can that hip press. I just over time, it's a no-brainer for me. It's very hard to manually apply enough static force against the strength of an adult man for certain exercises. Yeah, I do stretches at the end of. So let's see. Let me take you guys back for a little bit here. I started out as a football player in high school and college. During that time, I was doing strength and conditioning. Once I graduated from coaching football, or excuse me, from playing football, I started coaching football. During that time of 4 years, I did the strength and conditioning program. I didn't run it, but I coached it. And then I did 4 years of personal training. That's where I'm currently at right now, one-on-one personal training. So I had my own studio in my area. And over time, I wanted to be more virtual training. So I needed to get out of the overhead of what the studio was. So I partnered with a local gym to go and train clients there. And this gentleman has been there for 47 years. He's owned this gym, Nautilus Gym, for 47 years, all second generation Nautilus equipment. Original, the blue pieces. Let me see if I can get that. But anyway, I never stretched clients. I barely even touched clients. When I first started, I was uncomfortable to touch clients. Then I got and started working with him, and he does a protocol very similar to me. We had very similar thought process with training clients. He uses Nautilus equipment, so he was stretching each client at the end for 5 minutes, and they loved it. So I started to do it. So stretching clients is kind of a lot of work. Some big clients, my dad is like 6'2", 6'3", like 250. He is very hard to stretch because he's a big man. So I can understand how the manual resistance would be very difficult, especially with someone applying force. Like the stretch, they're not applying any force. They're supposed to be not applying force at all. They're supposed to be relaxing. I can see how that'd be tough. So time static contraction protocol serves to wear down a client for maximal effort for the last 20 seconds. Okay. Okay, I get that. I've seen inexpensive Chinese knockoffs of those machines. They might actually be the same exact machines coming out of the same factory in China. Oh, the Rogers pendulum you're talking about. Let me go. I would just want to see something real quick here if I can. I just want to show you guys what I'm working with. If you have any questions about me, or like, I don't know if I give enough information about do you trust me? You know, how do you know you can trust me? Do I give enough information about what I mean to the game? Give me a moment here. Let's see if I can't share this. Man, I got to get more fluid in changing from in and out of windows. So here's the gentleman this gentleman here has trained clients for 50 years, and like does like 20 sessions a day. And he has taught me a lot. So he's a Nautilus guy. This is his bicep curl. He's talking about the cam right here. Let me see if I get another video of the actual machines that we use there. I don't know if you guys know this machine. This is the multi-exercise machine by Nautilus. Is it showing? Yeah. Yeah. Touching clients. Some of them like the one-on-one. I was hesitant at first to make contact with clients, but some of them like it. Like they like that care. You know, it's interesting. I didn't think I would ever do that. I would ever stretch clients just because I don't really believe in stretching, but it just makes them feel good. If it makes them feel good, it makes them perform better in their lives. If they perform better in their lives, they keep coming back to me. So that's also a portion of it too, is like, does whatever you're doing allow you to perform? Strength training to me is so important that you should be able to see results in your career or like in your family life. Like it should be, you should be a beast all over the board. That's my goal, is to just make my clients perform better in everything that they have to do, even if that's being a grandfather or like, I don't know, like if they're knee deep in their career right now and they're at the pinnacle of their career, it's just like, um, let's make you as best as we possibly can. And I feel like the parts personal care and parts knowledge and application of resistance exercise is really just a valuable service for most people and an underrated service for most people. Personal training, just the way that sounds seems so corny. Like, yo, you work with a personal trainer? I've gotten so many times that, what do you do for work? Oh, I'm a personal trainer. They're like, give me this look. You've gotten that look before. I'm sure you've gotten that look. But the service we provide to clients and what clients get out of the experience is like no other, whether that's online or in person. And it has a ton of value. And the transfer of beastliness that you gain from exercise and how you apply it to your day-to-day activities, that's where you got to be. You got to be working with a trainer. Unless you're just a beast and you got it on your own, like there's something special to be working with a trainer. So it's a partner. It's a partner. It's a 30-minute, it's a 1 hour per week. You can't do it alone. So you do it together and you multiply yourself. You add yourself to another person. Both of you together should be able to get the job done on your body. if you can't do it on your own, another person's got to be able to help you. I mean, if both you can't do it, I can't help you. Okay. Folks can be nostalgic about old Nautilus, even me, but they were not so great in hindsight. Lots of friction, big for women, and the cams did the wrong thing the way they were designed. MedX fixed most of that, or a knowledgeable partner. That's true. Yeah, so man, all machines are imperfect. I did notice that the Nautilus machines do have friction to them. A couple of the machines are difficult to get in and out of, not as user friendly as the later models. It was early to the game though. They didn't know that how much you'd be getting in and out of the units and how much that lends to the user experience. So over time, they gained the better technology and the more customer feedback, and they made them user friendly to the point now where Imagine Strength. So okay, so where am I going with that? Wash all that out, Chris. That's what I'm saying about this. Like, wash the cams out. Okay, wash out the machines, all that out, and you're left with isometrics. And you don't have to worry about muscle curves or torque curves or friction or anything like that with isometrics. It's just built in. You're getting the exact, like, the maximal torque curve in that position you could possibly get. You're getting the perfect machine in that position you could possibly get. So that's why I'm all in, like, you don't have to worry about the perfection of a machine or anything like that. I find myself getting stuck. Like, I find myself using dumbbells and just holding them in an isometric position. I'm like, why am I waiting for this? Why am I waiting for what I want to do? Let me just cut right to the chase. I just hold it. So very true, unless you believe there is some sort of inherent value in dynamic exercise. Inherent? No, I don't think there's inherent. Unless you believe there is some sort of inherent value in dynamic exercise. Yeah, there is value. I can't say that yet because I haven't gone 100% isometric. So there's a limitation to what I can say because I never went all 100% isometric. So, like, this is the problem when you do both a hybrid approach with isometrics and dynamic. You'll get pumped up in the lats. You'll feel a huge pump in the lats, okay? And then you're like, oh my God, is that from my pullover, my isometric pullover I did? Or was that from the freaking Nautilus pull down I did 2 days ago? So it's like you can't decipher where you're getting either the growth of the stimulus or the fatigue or the soreness when you're doing the hybrid approach. But I've seen a big enough sample size with doing it with over 2 years with clients and myself that the value in it is so worth it. Have you ever read Arthur Jones' Requirements for Full Range Exercise? I've heard it in videos. I don't know if I've ever read it, like the bulletins. I went to a conference 2 years ago in Minnesota, resistance exercise conference, and I was sitting at a table with some of the most popular people in the industry, accidentally. When I signed up for this conference, I picked the most expensive option, and it gave me like this VIP access to all these top dogs in the industry. And there was these VIP dinners. The first dinner I walk in, maybe it was lunch. The first dinner I walk in, and I'm like, "Where's everybody?" And these people were sitting around a table, and they all knew each other. And I looked at all of them, and they were like the famous people in the industry. And I'm like, "Am I supposed to be here?" And I see my name tag sitting there. I'm like, "Okay, go sit down." And they knew each other for years. They've been going to this thing for years. I sit down, some jamoke. But I went to a resistance exercise conference, and in that table, they're like, "Have you read Arthur Jones' Bulletin?" And I said, "No, I haven't." And they were befuddled. But I did read Body by Science by Doug McGuff, and I did read Joint Friendly Fitness by Bill DeSimone, and I did read High Intensity Training by Mike Menser. Exercise coach franchises, the exercise coach franchise. I don't know. I feel like they may have called me and tried to solicit me on a sales call potentially. I don't know. I don't know them, but I do feel like I have heard that name before. All right, everyone, I got to wrap it up because I got stuff to do. Oh, speaking of, so this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. Let me just end with this. Like, I was just talking about this neck exercise with you guys, and it pops up on my next. See this? Play now. You see this? What I'm talking about here? How? I just talked about this MedX and cervical neck. Looks like Nautilus, though. It looks like there's a Nautilus thing there. I was just talking about this. So back to my point here is, dang, how are you going to put someone in this machine like, I don't know, just do it with isometrics. Just like rotate your face this way and that way, and you're fine. Flexion and extension over a longer duration of time. Look at that, John, man. Look at him. It probably works, though. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe cool, maybe not. All right. Thanks, everybody. Been a pleasure. I'm dead down here longer than expected. I got to put a time limit on myself. That's a manual machine, the rotary neck, great tool. Manual machine, interesting. So you're creating the resistance. Okay, cool. I like that. All right, I think that's it. Appreciate you, Chris. Whoa, way to go, man. MVP, Chris. Woo, woo, woo. Lewis too, for sure. I don't know if anybody watches this not live and you made it this far. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Say, hey, I made it this far. Do what you got to do to be the best performer you can in your life. And why not? Why not strive for greatness? Why not? I don't know any other way. It might not always come out to be great. You may fail along the way, but why not have a competitive edge? The world was comprised for us to feel a little bit of pressure and competitiveness to perform in every level at every age. So why not pursue that? Why not pursue that opportunity the world has given us? And that's all I got for you today. Sorry about that little rant there. That was a little, whoa, okay, over and out.